La 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 la, this is my show. Jingle, jingle. Oh no, somebody said at the horn. Jingle, jingle, jingle. Just keep it in anyway, because I'm not paying for a music producer. Jingle, jingle. Here's another toot. Welcome to my show.
Hello everyone and welcome to Podcast WC with me, Jerry Taylor, producer Paul, and today's a very special episode because I've finally got him on. I've been dying to get this guy on my podcast for ages. Salt of the earth, working class performer, Mr. Stuart. Hey,
how you doing?
How's it going, pal?
I'm alright, mate. I'm all good. It's good to sit down. Do you know, we've only actually ever been in a room together a handful of times, mate.
I was thinking,
but I feel as if I know you like fuck, like as if we've been hanging about for years.
I think it's once. I think it was when we were filming that with Neil Bratch's piece. We did a sketch for some Channel 4 thing.
Never seen the light of day.
Never seen the light of day. Do you know why? Because we didn't get much dialogue in it.
That's actually true.
If we were in it more, Neil, that'd have been on the telly. But that one time, but do you know what it was? We've done so many Zoom calls and things like over lockdown, because we met, was it not quite soon after that sketch we filmed that?
What did we do?
I think we went into lockdown, because I remember I talked to you with your team when we were going to do that. A pitch for the BBC with the ideas and stuff like that.
Fuck, mate, there's been a million and one of fucking things, man. Honestly. Doors slamming in your face every 2 minutes.
Mate, you've not just had doors slammed in your face, you've actually had your fucking face punched at times, aye, man. And I'm going to get to that, Paul. I don't know if you know this.
Suffering for your fucking art, right there,
so Stuart has really suffered for his art. Like, I think you've had a couple of doings.
Mate, it's always
we'll get to that. So we'll start at the beginning. First off, right, so if you don't follow me on TikTok, troops, Dad Joke Jerry, are you on TikTok?
Oh, mate,
what's your handle?
Stu89, mate, that fucking thing blew up, man. Aye.
Has it been going great?
Oh, it's been mental.
How many followers you got?
About 20,000.
Bastard, I'm 19.9 thousand.
Actually, I'm 19.4.
Yes. Right, follow me first, right? So I'm on TikTok, so I'm going to read out some dad jokes that I fucking love, man.
Love it.
Aye, so we'll get some of them just to break up the day, right, mate? Mm-hmm. So we're going to start right from the very beginning.
Is that a book of dad jokes?
It might be. I will not give away the source of my material.
So they're not original?
What joke is? But I've always thought this, right? See, do you know what? See if somebody goes, oh, you get that joke for such and such, and I go, right, well, what happens? Somebody tells a joke and then it's got to die.
Is that not why Ed Sheeran's in the fucking court now? Because he's fucking, sitting saying these, all songs are stolen from somewhere. All songs are stolen from Chestnut.
Whose songs
are meant Marvin Gaye or something? I don't know.
Aye, it was Let's Get It On, was it no?
What is it?
Aye,
I only know a tiny bit about it.
Famous, this song?
But it was like, honestly, it was like 3 chords were the same.
Aye.
I think they're right.
Oh, 100%. I think he's right as well, but hugely, like fucking C.
Who's right, Ed or?
Ed.
Aye. But
right.
like a comedian writing a joke about being a Celtic fan and Billy Connolly being like, nah.
Were you fucking
I've
playing?
told a joke about a Celtic.
I know, and it's like, but it's just a subject matter, you know what I mean? And it's
totally
like,
agree.
Well, see, to be fair, Ed Sheeran deserves everything he gets for fucking going on Game of Thrones and ruining it for me. So that's karma getting him.
I never watched any of that.
What? Did you know?
Mate,
how no?
Don't know. I mean, I do this weird thing.
Are you one of those? Everyone else is watching this. I'm not going to.
Couldn't ruin it for me. Like, see if I don't jump on the bandwagon quick on something, I'll get it round for me, mate. I'm still fucking working my way through Breaking Bad. You know what I mean? Aye, and I'm trying my hardest to put my head in the sand.
What bit? Yeah,
I can't remember. It's been ages.
I nearly just spoiled it for him just for a laugh.
No, but I know it's the same thing happened with Sopranos. Mm-hmm. Exact same thing happened with fucking Sopranos. You know what I mean? And I'm still not finished that and all, but I know it. I know it all.
Oh, you've seen the famous ending.
Mate, see somebody who's a writer. Like a television and fucking film and theatre fucking writer, the amount of fucking proper pop culture classic films that I've never seen. Indiana Jones.
This is a good. Right? So what film that you should have seen have you no seen?
Indiana Jones, Lord of the Rings.
You've never seen an Indiana Jones movie?
But it says I've seen hundreds of bits and parts of them.
Right.
So you feel like you've seen it?
Same thing happened with Star Wars when I finally papped my ass down about 5 or 6 years ago and I watched the original trilogy. But what I'm saying is the fact that these things are so massive that you can't get away from actually fucking seeing them, knowing what they are and knowing what happened and all that shit. You go, fuck's the point watching it then. Cheers.
Do you know what happens in the Breaking Bad? He runs away to be Malcolm's dad.
It's like the Malcolm in the Middle multiverse.
Yeah, there's something in that.
Did you see that there's a common writer between the Terminator and the Matrix movie, and they reckon that the Matrix is Skynet?
I like that. I like that.
What you see in the Terminator getting switched on, then graduates and eventually becomes the Matrix.
I fucking like
Mate,
that.
It's too late in the fucking day for that kind of chat. Yeah. Do you know what I found out recently, right? Let's try this. We'll try this on the podcast. it's apparently an impossibility, right, to whistle the Superman theme tune, followed by the Indiana Jones theme tune, followed
John
by
Williams,
the Star Wars theme tune. You heard this one? So it's John Williams wrote all three.
Right, so I could definitely do 2 of the 3.
You've got to do them 3 back to back, right? Three.
But I don't know the Indiana Jones tune.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right, okay, so can I be first to try?
Right, you go first.
So
Right, go.
Superman is
Indiana-
Star Wars is
Fuck.
and then
Indiana
I
Jones.
don't remember Indiana. I don't know Indiana Jones.
See, even just watching you, I took a mental blank. But also, no, you can shove another one in there. Back to the Future. Try and do.
See if there's anybody walking by the studio.
You're watching Back to the Future in there. Oh, that's good what they're doing for Wayne's in there.
Wait, this is Indiana Jones at and Superman's no, that's Police Academy.
What? Fucking deep dive there. Fucking Police Academy.
I love that film. We're just going to get off on a film tangent here.
Oh,
how did we go into that?
You're going to tell me a dad joke?
No,
Right,
he was saying that he's no seen all of the pop
Aye,
culture.
no,
Right,
there's
so I have a question for you.
Go for it.
Because I've got the pure nostalgia. Like, I've got a Star Wars
Oh, for me,
Blu-ray and there's a Darth Vader up there, right?
see what I love? I fucking love. You know what I mean? I like when it comes to pop culture and stuff like that. There's a million and one things, but
What
there's
is
just
it
these wee
like?
nuggets.
As an adult watching the original trilogy.
I loved it.
Oh, did you?
No, but that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah,
So,
right.
aye, the original. So this is what I'm going to tell you.
I've never
so,
seen it either. Never seen Star Wars.
This is a
Never
fucking
seen
thing.
Star Wars.
Actually, it wasn't that long ago. I remember it's now like you get the Facebook memories and stuff like that. I think I wrote a status about fucking 10 years ago like that. Why the fuck would I watch Star Wars? I know exactly what happens. Fucking and round it off what happens I went and I've never even fucking seen it. Right. Finally fucking Plank Master. I think it was when like fucking the JJ Abrams were coming back round and they looked fucking pretty alright. And I was like, do you know what? If I'm going to do it, I'll do it right. I'll fucking watch fucking the way it should be, and then I'll go into the new ones as a fan. And sat down, not fucking really thinking to myself I was going to come out yet liking it any more than what I already thought I did.
Aye.
I fucking loved it.
You geeking out now?
I wasn't geeking, not hugely geeking. I've got a pal who fucking who hot and hard, hot and fucking proper hard, and he's now got a full fucking leg sleeve of like fucking stormtroopers and fucking all this shite in the day. Mental.
What is it about it then? Because it's like almost a cult following.
No,
isn't it?
it's crazy. That's the. What's the comparison there? There's another film that's a complete and utter comparison here.
Is it no Star Trek?
No, there's something that's meant because it's a love story basically, isn't it? It's
About a guy pumping his sister.
guy put my sister. I mean, good versus evil, Rangers versus Celtic. Now,
I mean, I think like what do they call it? The Skywalker saga. It's actually a movie about like Anakin.
is that what one? Is that like the Phantom Menace and all that?
He's Darth Vader.
Aye.
It's actually about him.
Aye, no, right. I remember.
Is that a spoiler then, aye?
No, I'm just saying like people be like, oh, it's about Luke and Leia and
Aye.
Han, and it's actually like the full thing when you put it together. It's about him, I suppose.
Darth
Aye.
Vader.
Well, he's got to be he'll be the central character then.
I had an interesting fact about him. How did Darth Vader know what Luke Skywalker got for his Christmas? Because he felt his presence. No.
Was that in that? Have you fucking highlighted it?
No, I just made that one up. I made that one up.
Have you watched episode 1, 2, and 3?
I've not seen Attack of the Clones.
Right.
So when I stopped it after Phantom Menace because I don't like it.
Do you not like it?
I don't know. Do you know what I think it puts me off as well? Like this is where my brain will go as well. So my reference to Star Wars as somebody who never seen it back in the day was the games. You know what I mean? So I'd play like the N64 games, and there was this N64 game that I fucking hate it, and it was Star Wars, and I always remember just
What one was it?
Can't remember the front cover's a fucking it's a stormtrooper, and he's like that.
Oh, but Battlefront, the first ever Star Wars Battlefront.
Aye, right, and
You got
so
like a semi there,
I
Paul.
watched that.
Yeah, I'm a fucking Star Wars gimp, mate. I'm not a Star Wars geek.
Battlefront,
As it says, mate, I'd call myself a Star Wars fan 100%, but I'm not like fucking. If you had to sit and be like fucking brilliant, I'd be like, it's good, mate. Aye.
You enjoyed the franchise.
I enjoyed the franchise. Maybe if I got back, maybe if I had a figure in my life when I was younger who showed me it growing up, Because like when I was growing up, like my dad would show me like Back to the Future and stuff like that. So now I geek out about Back to the Future.
Oh, the documentary about it.
I mean, did I tell you the time I got a chance to fucking work with Christopher Lloyd?
No,
With Back to the Future, and we wrote my sketch.
mate, this is good. Oh, this is gold for the podcast, right?
So what we were doing was because doing the football comedy and stuff like that. So I got an opportunity a couple of years ago. I was actually telling you this out there as well. So we got an opportunity to work with David Hasselhoff, and he was
You
doing.
briefly mentioned that and then moved on. Just slapped that name and then moved on with the
But
conversation.
fucking, it was a Comic Con. So Comic Con came to Comic Con Scotland. So I don't know how it came about. I can't really properly remember. Actually, no, I do remember. I reached out to them. This is what you need to do. You need to create your own work. You know what I mean? Listen, rule number one.
This is why I'm one of your fans, mate, because we'll talk
Rule
about
number one, if you ever want to become fucking anything creative and fucking make your own fucking work.
Too right, mate.
So at the time I was working with BBC and they were fucking making sketches and stuff like that, and I noticed that Comic Con Scotland were coming over and had David Hasselhoff, and I was like, how do we get to come for a sketch? Like, why don't we fucking go out our way? And what we wrote was it was a sketch called Hoff Tub Time Machine. Right? Right? And what it was is we were in a fucking hot tub. The original one was we were in a hot tub. He comes along with the gear on and all that stuff, and we kid on, we don't know who he is. But because David Hasselhoff says kind of fucking, hey, how you doing? He's like pure flamboyant. We're like, I ain't got a clue here, mate. Don't know what you're talking about, and we pure wind him up. So long story short, we got through him, managed to do it, but we didn't do it in the hot tub. We done it just in the hotel he was in, and it's out, you can see it, and it's all about him trying to convince us that he's David Hasselhoff, and we're like, I ain't got a fucking clue you're talking about.
Why have I never fucking
You never seen this? Oh, it's good, mate. I've had David Hasselhoff there for my face, scream SpongeBob SquarePants, an inch from my face.
And I thought my meeting David Hasselhoff was a good story. Yours is better.
Know what I mean?
I met him once.
No, but then he made an arse of it.
Wow.
Oh, he doesn't like us anymore.
Did you wind him up?
No, we didn't wind him up. Guy was lovely, right? Bit fucking weird, right? Bit of a weird fucking guy, but he was a lovely guy on the day, right? I'll never forget, hilarious. He's like, I'm not going to do it unless I read a script. And so handed him a script. The script's in full fucking Scottish slang, right? And I remember sitting watching him, he's reading through it, and I'm standing with the fucking boy who was doing it. He's like, he's not got a fucking clue what he's reading here, baby. It's all fucking eyes, nose, fucking all this. So he turns around and he does it, and there was a hang with him about 5 or 6 years ago where he was fucking filmed by his daughter eating a cheeseburger off a floor.
Right. Aye, because that was at his darkest time. That's how he came off the drink, because he's.
I was an alky.
Oh, he's fine.
Mate, there's a famous video and he's sat and he's eating a burger and it's a mess, man, and she just films it and she posts it to embarrass him. And he watched the video to see just how bad he was, and that's what got him off.
Well, what happened with that was the fact that so the fucking sketch goes out the next day, BBC, right? And he watches it, right? And somebody had commented, just a random person had commented saying Flair burger.
Flair burger.
Right? And next thing I know, this one of the most surreal days of my life, to be honest with you, right? At the time I was a postman. Right, so I'm walking around doing the post. I get a phone call for David Hasselhoff's fucking PA. Get off or fucking nut at me. I'm fucking trying to fucking shove letters through a fucking door. I was getting, listen, I'm really sorry, Tim. I'm sorry. I was like, does he not know how fucking social media works? We didn't. He was blaming the BBC. He was blaming us. And I was like, he's read a comment from a random fucking person, and it was chaos for a couple of weeks with the BBC. Fucking, I'm in fucking phone calls with the fucking head of fucking BBC, like, fuck have you done? I haven't done anything. So that was a good laugh. Right?
The RAF at the fucking...
The RAF at the Hoff, man. The Hoff. So if I ever see you again,
Did you meet Christopher Lloyd?
Well, it was the Christopher Lloyd one. So when it came to doing this, so the next year came around, and because because we'd done the David Hasselhoff one, we created a relationship with the Comic Con. Right, and fucking the boy got a hold of me the next year. He's like, listen, do you want to come and be our social media manager? Kind of fucking thing, just like fucking walk around that day and meet everybody and fucking take videos. I went, aye, but as long as we get the deal again where we get a chance to do a sketch with one of your fucking top people. So it was Christopher Lloyd. I was like, I'm fucking doing Christopher Lloyd. That's so the sketch that we wrote was so at the time Rangers were doing shite. Rangers were like properly way back down, so
still doing shite, mate.
Still doing shite, mate. You better believe it. But this time they were proper fucking shite. So I wrote a sketch called Back to Fix the Future. And what it was me and him in the fucking DeLorean, and I'm in a Rangers tab going, maybe they go back, we need to fix this. And it was just like, and we were going back, and I changed my Rangers top to make it look as if we're going through time. Right. I'm going, stop, that's right, we're fine, we're perfect. Then I jump out and I can't remember exactly what it was, but then I came back in and we're like, no, we fucked it again, we need to go back. And we got there. And this actually ties into like what you were saying earlier on about the abuse I get, the shite I get. The night before we went to do it, I get jumped. You know what I mean?
Wait, whereabouts were you?
Cobridge. Right, exactly.
What do you get jumped for? Like
For the comedy, for doing the football comedy.
We'll get
because you're a Rangers fan?
No, so if you do Rangers and Celtic, oh mate, it's mental.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But
Long story short,
Stu, and I'm not saying opens your soul up because that's the wrong term for that. Stu's he's basically the way he performs. There's no allegiances in his characters, so sometimes if he'll have to put a Celtic top on, slag off a Celtic fan. And Rangers fans will hold it against him because he dared to put a Celtic top
for
on.
a good 2 or 3 years, for about 2 years, at the start of the career. People still do it to this day. They're like, we didn't know who you supported, and I was like, but why do you feel so fucking strongly? Like, why do you fucking care? You know what I mean? Like, and the full thing is, there was so many people out there that couldn't decipher that it was a fucking comedy sketch. There's comedy sketches, but clearly fucking comedy sketches. But when it started coming about and people were like fucking thinking it was real, it was hilarious because you're going, fuck, that's hilarious. Cunts are fucking getting wound up here. This is hilarious. Like, right. Fuck this cunt, fuck this fiend bastard, fuck this one's bastard, all this shit, right? I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. And then you seen them in the street, you seen them in the pubs. Fuck. I mean, and the fucked up thing was you didn't know who they were, like, but they knew who you were. And you're just standing there and then fucking bang, bang, bang. It's happened to me 4 or 5 times. But back to that story. So
4 or 5?
Oh, aye, mental. Mate, and
all physical?
All physical.
Because I saw the one, big black eye and all that.
All physical. I mean,
because you went to get, we'll get to it, but you went to get up. You did get up for a couple of weeks.
I'll tell you that there's a reason why there was a reason getting into why I was going to get up, but I'll tell you that later on as well.
Cool, Christopher
But to finish the Christopher Lloyd story so far.
We got some tangents in here.
So the night before I get fucking jumped. So, and apparently for what I can remember or what I get told, well, long story short, I found out I got a concussion and broke ribs, right? And I went home and apparently I was just like talking mince, everything, just completely like fucking like that.
So nobody could tell the difference in that.
I mean, just normal fucking day, innit? And then I was like, I've got my work, I need to go to work tomorrow, I need to go to work. I got myself up the next day and I drove to fucking the Comic-Con in Edinburgh, black and blue. Absolutely fucking just blood fucking still fucking in my nose, everything just completely fucked, still completely out my fucking just nut. And I went in and I mean, you should see this. I don't. They ended up taking off. They sacked me that day because I was in there, fully concussed, walking around, and it was all like people doing cosplay, and I'm like, let the fucking stay this cunt. Mate. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking. There was a boy dressed up as Neo with a big, and I kept on calling him a school shooter. I was like, fucking school shooter over there, and there was just floods and floods and floods of fucking people going, who is this guy? Get him off! And I remember standing next to Jean-Claude Van Damme. Standing next to Jean-Claude Van Damme. Right, big man. He's a picture. And then I was standing next to Christopher Lloyd smokes.
Oh, does he?
There you go, right? And I was smoking at the time as well. So I'm out fucking, I'm having a fucking cigarette with fucking Christopher Lloyd, and I'm lucid, like, it's not as if I'm out my bin. I know what I'm doing, I know where I'm at, and stuff like that, but I'm standing with Christopher Lloyd, but he's security were just pure pushing me back. I'm going, I'm working. I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be doing this shit with you. No, fuck off. Next thing I know, man, I just get fucking heckled and told, don't come back. And that was the end of that.
Man. Did you think you were steaming or something? I
have no idea. But I've still got pictures to show you later on in my face that day. I remember I went into the toilet at that Comic-Con and I took a picture and I'm just fucking black.
Did they ever catch who it was?
No. 7 boys.
7 of them?
There was CCTV. Aye, I went back and get more. I went back for seconds. I thought I could go and take them on again.
Did you actually?
Went back for seconds. I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah. Mate, that's crazy.
So, what year was that?
2019.
Fucking hell, man.
Not even that long ago. Mm-hmm. So that's you pissed off Hasselhoff, Christopher Lloyd.
Oh no, Christopher Lloyd didn't have a fucking clue.
Comic-Con.
He didn't. The only thing I'll have a fucking say about that is I walked next to him for a bit.
Do you know what it was?
Did you not get to do the sketch? Was that?
Did you not get to do the sketch?
Besides that, it was my 30th birthday that day as well, right? It was my 30th birthday. And I actually turned right to the boy I was working with, who was like fucking, like, if you go to Comic-Cons, they've got like, each person's got somebody standing next to them like a security person. I went, listen, it's my 30th today. I'm a fucking massive Back to the Future fan. Can I get a picture? They took me fuck off.
Fuck's sake, man. That's absolutely mental. Do you know what it is? You know why you got huckled? Probably somebody's been
For calling fucking people school shooters, mate.
No, but they were probably going, that cunt's not seen Star Wars before. Get him the fuck out of here. You don't belong.
Honestly.
The Celtic Rangers world's really weird, man. Like,
Horrendous, mate.
I'm sure you wrote did you write the
journey back.
the thing that Gary Fawkes was in?
Right, Armadillo?
I went for a run. I stay here in the West End, and I went for a run that night, and I had a green Nike Tammy on.
You get shite?
And I ran along the Clyde, and a guy was, I mean, like, you know, I'm 6'5", right? So, like, I'm never going to fucking fight with any cunt, but I don't get started on.
Aye.
You know, like that type of way. Like, it's been a long time since somebody started on me in public, and I was running along, and some guy was like, "You're fucking brave." And I was like, what? But mate, it must have been like a lunch bus, man. Honestly, man, it was like
I'll tell you a crack about that.
like the wee sort of stumpy woman and the guys. But the guy was like, "You're fucking brave," and I was like, "What
You talking to?
I was like, "What you fucking talking about, mate?" And it was another guy who was like, "You're wearing a green hat," and I just looked about and I was like, "Every cunt's in a fucking Rangers hat. What's going on here?" And then when I got up the road, I seen Gary posting. I was like, "For fuck's sake!" But
It's this cunt's fault.
my
Fucking
fault,
bringing them
green
on into the Clyde.
mate, a green fucking hat, mate, running along the Clyde, and cunts are like, "You're brave." It's
Look at the celebrations in George Square, and this isn't me just picking on Rangers fans, but they were shouting at the ambulance crew because they were wearing green fucking uniforms.
Fucking
You
football.
bastards.
There's a minority of football fans out there
On both
they
sides.
ruin it for fucking every country.
On both
They
sides, so
literally ruin it, man. It's like some of the things I've seen, heard, people I've spoke to that are legit turning around to me and saying the most fucked up things, expecting me to be like totally on board with it as well. I mean,
Aye.
but you see, I'll tell you something that's hilarious and all. This is how bad it actually gets. So, the first couple of years of doing it, as I say, I went in naively, thought to myself, so we used to do, remember Only Excuse?
Aye,
So
man, we both wrote
we both wrote for fucking Only Excuse.
You get more sketches on than me though.
Did
yours
you?
were
How
funny.
come you didn't actually get on the sketch?
A lot of mine get turned down by the lawyers. So
Oh,
see
so
when
mine's
they
get
get
turned
the
down
lawyers,
left, right and centre.
they were great sketches, but
Aye.
mine's included fires and all that. Can I tell you the ones? Can I tell you? I had one.
Was that
right?
fucking cremation?
I had one. I want to talk about these ones actually because they never went on. No, it was. See
Well,
when
if you've got ones, I've got ones because
see
I'm
the,
getting
see the
fucking
Mike
dragged.
Ashley one? When
Right.
Mike, it was Sports Direct, right? And everyone was kicking off and boycotting it. So I'd written this sketch with a Rangers fan out his back garden, and he's like, "I'm now, but I've went down to Sports Direct today. I've got his Rangers stuff." He said, "I'm going to burn it all to make a statement." And the reporter goes, so he's putting it on a big barrel, and the reporter goes, "So you went to Sports Direct today and bought loads of strips just so you could burn them?" Aye, how? Oh shit. That was it. But the best, Paul didn't like that one. But the best one, you'll like this one. You know that's
too real, mate.
you know that splat fate. Well, they were filming it and it got shut down because they were lighting a fire in a built-up area. But they
For
were
fuck's
filming
sake.
it. But the best one I wrote, and I knew it was never going to get in. You know that splat face that you do. That, and then the cream hits you in the face. So I had it was all family.
Is that right,
Christmas.
Dan? Tell us that right, Dan?
No, it wasn't even football related. This
Bastard.
one. It was a Scottish family all sat around, and the wee granny and all that, and they're all playing, and the wee Wayne's playing with the granny, and then the granny loses, and it goes, she gets splattered with the cream, and she just goes, "Oh, that takes me back." Phil Differs like, "I love that sketch, but there's not a chance in hell that's
mate.
ever going to get through."
Oh.
But anyway, carry on.
No,
You were
it
saying
was,
so.
what happened with me was the fact I managed to get in the writing team the year before, and mate, I'm not. What I'm about to say has merit because I'll tell you how it's got merit. I fucking wrote them gold, fucking spun them fucking gold,
Aye.
not back right, and I took the hump for that. Right, I took the fucking hump big time, mate. Right, and I went, well, fuck you then. I'll make them myself. I make them myself. They are, and those sketches that I gave to Only an Excuse that they never took are now sitting at the top 10 most watched fucking
Brilliant.
BBC Scotland fucking videos. We done Delude 'em all for Rangers fans.
Delude 'em all was
what it
brilliant.
was it was a fucking it was a fake.
You'll have seen that, lad.
It was a fake advert. A fake advert about fucking how Rangers. I literally in BBC Scotland, I told the world that Rangers fans are mentally ill and need prescription. Me being one myself, you know what I mean?
But that's what makes you no unique, but you're brave that way because you're having a go at your own as
You
well.
need to, mate, I think that the reason starting out in it and my full vision doing it firstly was because if you watch back the sketches where I'm playing both characters, mate, they're both the same fucking character. They've just got different taps on. That was the full vision behind the full thing, and I wanted to fucking say, look how fucking ludicrous this was. As much as me, I'm a massive fucking football fan, love it, but I'm not a fucking, I'm not a goon that fucking can't decipher. That's fucked up. What you're doing right now is fucking mental. What you're saying right now is mental. And see what you said? He's saying the same thing, only switched a couple of names about. The full thing was so fucking contradicting and so like they were so alike. It was unbelievable. And I was trying to put a spotlight in that and make it fucking funny. And so because Only Excuses has been on for 25 fucking years, it was much loved. Everybody loves it. I went, then why the fuck can't I do it? So then I go into it. And what we've kind of thought about now is the rise of social media, the fact that everybody in them days got a fucking voice. You're fucking, without sounding mental, everything I've done on social media has outpassed fucking figures on fucking Only Excuse for the past fucking 10, 15 years.
But they did you a favour then, mate.
Aye, hugely.
By doing that. What was I going to say there? What were you talking about?
No, but that's why people fucking get... I meet people in the street now, because when I done Only Excuse, I actually turned right, I says to John and Watson, did you ever get shy for this? And he went, really?
Really?
I must be hanging about the wrong country club.
Because he's a Rangers fan.
Is he? I don't know, can we say that?
No, well. Allegedly.
There you go.
Allegedly.
What do you think about him?
He was great. I absolutely loved him. He was absolutely superb. He was like, it was Phil
Really nice guy.
Differ. Phil Differ, what a fucking guy.
Great guy, the creator.
Absolute,
Phil's great.
and his son as well. So his son works in guitar in the town.
Alright.
And he started talking about him one day, and I told it just randomly. Same name, you know what I mean? And he started talking away, and I think he actually asked me, he's like, what are you doing the night or whatever? And I went, I've got rehearsals, mate, I'm putting a show on. And we started talking about it. He's like, my dad's Phil Differ. I went, your dad gave me my job and fucking Only Excuse. And that was it, just fucking in.
Great guy.
Love the guy.
He gives writers a chance.
Oh,
He does.
hugely,
It's great.
absolutely hugely.
Well, going back to your stuff, right? And this is from a fan, right? And I'll be honest with you. So this is how good your stuff is, and this is what you do to both sides, right? So I think the first couple of videos I saw you were ripping into Rangers fans. It was like, guys class, and you're honest about it. And then something what happened was, and I can't remember what it was, and you fucking ripped into us, and I went, prick.
That's what happens.
Fucking prick. And but then you won me back again, and that's when I started to go, do you know what? This guy's like across the board, and everyone's a target. Well, not everyone. If you're a fucking idiot or you're doing something stupid, that's the target.
There's a bit in the journey back that I'm really proud of that I wrote in it. But it's what was happening to me was exactly that. Right? When if Rangers were doing shit, I'm going for Rangers. That's where the comedy is.
Aye.
Right? If I'm just sitting fucking slagging Celtic all day, then I'm just a Rangers fan. It's fucking trying to fucking don't know. Do it.
Aye.
You need to be subjective when you're fucking doing comedy, especially football comedy. So that would happen to me a lot where fucking Rangers, if I'm doing a sketch where it's about fucking Rangers rip the piss out of Celtic, Rangers fans fucking love this guy, but then the same fans a week later, when they see it reversed, see that cunt, see that fucking cunt, baby. So when I wrote that into...
But they still keep following
They
you.
still will, some of them, you know what I mean?
aye,
Listen, I got a message about 3 weeks ago saying, if I see you at Ibrox, I'm slitting your throat. You know what I mean? Aye, shit like that, you know what I mean? And then fucking, mate, there's a full fucking forum, full Rangers forum online that has got threads upon threads of just where I am and what I do. I seen him the day.
Is it follow?
I seen him the day.
Aye.
Follow.
Stood next to him in this pub. Prick.
Fuck's sake,
Aye, I think follow full of the loonies, isn't it?
Aye.
Do you know what I think's funny? I've seen folk do about you. Check this cunt out, and they share your video.
Aye.
You're
And it's like,
thank
cheers.
you. Thank
I
you.
wouldn't have seen it if you had shared it.
But I wrote a crack wee bit into the play, into the journey back. I gladly fucking landed it, and it was good. It's wee Gaz Morrison, who fucking absolutely love Gary.
Gary used to play Billy and
Oh, Gary, what a guy. So he pulls out his phone, like, so it's a bit where Rangers are fucking doing shite, and Gary pulls his phone out and goes, I mean, have you seen this cunt? This cunt fucking is fucking slagging us. Like, who? Some prick called Stuart Hay claims to be a Rangers fan, but he's fucking slagging us. And he's an arsehole, he's a prick. And then he goes, oh, wait a wee minute. Then he's doing man about Celtic. That cunt's brilliant, mate. I went down well, mate. I was glad, mate. I was glad. Right.
So anyone that's watching, it's fresh. Let's go on your journey here, right? So Stu became almost like a viral sensation. That meant something totally different when I was at school.
No.
Man,
You get cream for that?
What'd you call it? I can't keep up with the kids. He got a lot of hits online, right?
Fuck it, mate.
And doing the workies. Was the workies your main one? It was two guys in a work van, but it was always cutting to a different one, but it was always Stu playing the character.
That's the big ones now. That's been the ones that's literally fucking... When I started doing this, it was more one-off sketches of just like... A Celtic fan graphics, not a Rangers fan graphics, not. There was never any proper substance to it. There was never anything you could properly build on. If you were going to build on that, it's just fucking a guy screaming his head off for fucking an hour and a half. So it finally came to a point where I stumbled across an idea where I used to work with my pal washing windies. So I had a work van. And the amount of times I'd be fucking doing fucking, like, I've been manual labour jobs my full fucking life, my full entire life. And the pattern in these places is always that cutthroat fucking, "Hey, you big dirty arms bastard, hey, you fiend," you know. But it's hilarious and it's funny, and it's taking a good part. So I was like to myself, that's a great character doing something like that. I was like, I've got a work van, stick a fucking high vis on, and just play both fucking sides. Bang, absolutely blew up. People related to it massively. That's fucking so-and-so in my work, that's us in our work, this is, and I was like, finally, fucking nailed it. Brilliant. Nailed characters that I can build on now. If there's something that I can actually fucking have a bit of grit to. So they're the ones that now, originally, as I said, it was one of our sketches. A situation would come up and we'd try and think outside the box. We'd try to do something other people had never done before. Like, I think one of my first sketches was, we literally, Rangers were doing that well that it sent a Celtic fan into space with rage. Like, we fucking, he physically took half for his couch.
I remember that one.
You know what I mean? So we were trying to think outside the box instead of just fucking
punchlines.
But then the pandemic hit and we couldn't see each other, and I was just doing videos on my phone. So the most I could do was just to fucking back and forth. But the original ideas were to do something somebody's never done it. I mean, as it says, they delayed them all one. We were fucking full advert. And then we done one. Can
you see them coming?
You see them coming. That was a good one.
Did you ever see that one? The guy with binoculars, Celtic fan on a hill.
That one. That was like about $1 million with that fucker.
Was it?
It was like 800, 900 something like that.
I liked that one.
That one was mental. And then the other one I'm massively proud of was we done a fake Calvin Klein advert called Obsessed for Boys. You know what I mean? Instead of the Obsession, it was Obsessed, and it was a Celtic fan, and it's all arty. It was fucking, we done it perfect, man. Fucking rented this studio, pure black and white arty farty, man. I'm fucking up against a wall, fucking pure wrong and green, going, what are Rangers doing? Where are they getting this money from? How can they be beating us? You know what I mean? And it's all this pure dramatic, and then it ends with this pure perfect Obsessed, the new fragrance for boys. You know what I mean? There's this big pan out cut, and it was perfect, mate. I remember I actually sat watching it, I was like going, that's fucking genius.
Your stuff's great, mate, and that's the thing I want to talk about is like the working class element, obviously, like you say, you've been doing windy cleaner, postman, brought up in the schemes, milkman, everything. I get sacked at the end. I
get sacked for my. I lasted a month. My job being a milkman. I get sacked because I was one of the idiots that went to George Square when Rangers won the league.
Is that why you did you get sacked?
Because I ended up in the paper.
I saw it all kicking off.
I ended up in the paper.
And they sacked you? I thought it's because you wouldn't deliver the green milk.
I've got 1,000,001 Celtic fan pals fucking grew up my Celtic town. You know what I mean?
Coat Brink.
I was literally like growing up, I was like one of the only Rangers fans I could fucking find. You know what I mean? Honestly.
So you've definitely suffered for that now.
But that was one of the big reasons why getting into it as well, because I was in such a unique position where I seen both sides constantly. Like, see these people that are growing up like fucking just surrounded by like one side. They don't see the opposite end. Like, they just hear what their pals are saying, and it's fucking brilliant. And anytime they come across an opinion for the other side, it's a lot of shite, fuck you. Whereas I'd be sitting watching the games with my dad, hearing him gaff his fucking nut, right? And then I'd go and meet my pals, and they'd be gaffed on nut. At the same thing, only if you had different perspective. Man, I was like, that's fucking gold here, by the way.
Well, Paul, what's been the best way to describe this, right? So, working class, anyone knows if you're a working class performer, and this isn't a chip in the shoulder in, it's very, very difficult to break into this industry. The way I feel that my career's been, so picture the industry as a door, and I've had a crowbar at this fucking door, Stu, Paul, right? And every time, it's just about opening, that gap's open, and it just slams back shut. Yeah. This motherfucker's come in and kicked the door right off the hinges with his first show, right? And I loved that. And I've even told you, so Stu phoned me and he's like, look mate, can I get some advice?
You gave me advice, huh?
I want to produce my own show, but what's the best advice you can give? I went, start small mate. He's like, no bother. 3 days later, fucking sell it out the armadillo. He phones me and went, I just want to thank you. And I went, for what?
No, you fucking did it.
But I love that. Now, and I've got to be honest in that, I think I'm always quite open and upfront on this podcast. Every single person in that industry wanted you to fail, whether you agree or not. I was included. No, I didn't want you to fail. I expected it to fail.
I understand.
Mate, right? I expected it to fail. I didn't want it, and I promise you didn't want it to fail because I really, really like you. And then I started to see it getting better, selling it, and I was like, oh, right, well, what about this stage? Because I've been there, and I was like, oh, what, does he know this and that? You managed to fucking, and you can talk about the stress about it because you were talking about it earlier, but what you did, mate, from start to finish in that short space of time, as no one in the history, I don't think, of Scottish theatre from your background has ever been able to do that. And there's going to be so many people out there jealous. I'm jealous, but in a good way, because I'm glad you did it. But
You need to be. Listen,
I'm jealous.
that's a natural. That's a natural fucking
Inspired me,
response.
mate.
Aye.
Inspired me. I've been too cautious. I just throw myself into it again. But explain to us then. So from you've had all your sketches online. You've been writing for Only an Excuse. Still having to dip in and out of manual labour jobs. But then you get to this stage because you were in the pavilion with Rally Round the Rangers. We'll leave it at that because we don't want to talk about other companies and stuff. So and that inspired you to go, I'm going to try and do this myself.
Hugely.
So from leaving the pavilion, here's the process, and tell me your journey to the journey back.
Mate, we done it. We done it in 4 months. In the space of 4
From
months.
start to finish.
From start
You
to
hadn't
finish.
even written the
Not
script.
even written it.
That's
Wrote it,
fucking insane.
wrote it in
by the
2
way.
weeks.
And you sold it at Armadillo for how, 2 nights?
We sold out in 4 minutes.
6,000 people. 4 minutes.
And they
man.
didn't even know what it was. Didn't have a clue what it was.
But see the trailer and that you made?
I know that
was amazing.
that was the biggest. This is when it comes to doing anything. Let's see what I've learnt. It's actually not even what I've learnt. It's kind of ingrained in me of like, this is how you should do it. If you've got anything to promote, sell, anything like that at all, don't hit me with a picture. Don't hit me with a sentence of what it is. Show me what it is. You know what I mean?
Like films do with trailers now.
Exactly.
Folk want to know what they're
You
going
need
to buy into.
You need fucking visuals. Simple as fucking that. Like, and that was it. And I remember sitting to myself going, right, mate, I remember going to do that opening fucking the advert, driving to fucking Ibrox with 2 pals that I used to do the sketches with, and I'm still writing it on my phone, going, right, say that, right, say that. And we turned up to Ibrox and we just fucking done this fucking thing, right? And then we sat and we got it all together, we put it all together, I'm going, need something. And we went like, music. We stuck this fucking pure ballad behind it, changed it all.
Brilliant,
Changed it all, man. Just completely changed the perspective. And it went from just like, come and see this show, to fucking...
It gave that professional
right,
look to it, mate.
hot you right there.
It was...
But I shot myself, I really did, because I was like, mate, it could have been either way at all. This could have been the cringiest thing I've ever done in my life. Literally, this could have been a fucking nightmare. I pure vulnerably fucking set myself up, opened myself up to go, this is it. Take it or leave it kind of thing. This could be make or fucking break. I'll never forget, mate, the night I sat and I knew full right, so Armadillo, it's done. We've got it. It's time to tell people. Right? And I went 6 o'clock, right, I'm going to do it, right? And I get the phone call about fucking 4 o'clock for the Armadillo, got that, right, you're good to go. I was like, is that it? So you're good to go. I was like, fuck, I've just booked Armadillo.
I was the same feeling. I remember doing
what
it.
the fuck have I just done? And that's when it started going, shit, mate.
Aye.
You need to now do this. This needs to happen. And I remember fucking, I clicked the button to put the fucking video in, and mate, I cried. I cried for about 10 minutes straight. Sat like that, roaring and greeting. Fucking, I didn't check my phone for fucking 10 minutes, roaring and fucking greeting. And I came back and I checked it, and it was like fucking 40,000 views in 10 minutes.
Seriously,
and I
man.
just went boom, just went fucking through the roof, man. And that was stage 1. Right, they know about it. Right, tickets going on sale tomorrow.
Pre-sales.
Pre-sale, right? Because we didn't have any money. We had fucking no money. I was still washing Mondays. You know what I mean? I was still like washing Mondays. You know what I mean? And didn't have any money, so we had to do the pre-sale to fund the entire fucking thing. You know what I mean? If we didn't get this fucking pre-sale, we were fucked, mate. Fucked. So next day, 10 o'clock, right? And I just checked my phone. Checked my phone at 2 minutes past. 2 minutes past, and all the comments were sold out. Sold out. And I went, nah. Fucking sold out. 4 minutes.
I have dreamed of
just sat
that
there.
fucking moment all my life, man. What was that a great feeling? Or did you shit yourself?
No, it was I remember my phone just was blown off, and mate, you've sold out. You've sold in the SEC for me, mate. Sure, you've sold out. But they sold out just pre-sale.
Aye.
Right? So then the very next day, the rest of them went on. So we sold 500 tickets in 4 minutes.
For the pre-sale?
For the pre-sale, right? So we still had another 2,500 to go.
Aye. And were you like that? Is that the whole 500 that are coming?
Nice thing. Next day, fucking SEC for me. I know. I went like that.
You sold the full SEC out in an hour?
And I went like that. Sorry for me, like that. Congratulations. Do you want a second night?
Mate, Ricky Gervais didn't even sell them.
Fucking mental. Ricky Gervais was in the night before me.
I was there.
Mate, stuck in the toilet. It was fucking reeking.
See, with that show and like selling like that, man, you could have took that to the hydro.
Well,
I saw
listen,
you cutting about there in the picture and I thought, here we go.
can't
man.
say too much about that now, but there is plans for something But
I better be
I can't
fucking
say.
in it, Stuart. I'm
But-
telling you right now.
We didn't know. It could, listen, this was literally like fucking balls in the fucking table. This could be death, mate. Either this works or this doesn't work. I mean, theoretically, I had to go and set up a business. All this shit.
You need your limited company number
Everything
and all that, aye.
it's for the SECC fucking, but they were so good. Listen, massive shout out to the staff at the SECC. They know who they are.
They're brilliant.
They fucking held my hand through that full thing. It was the most surreal thing ever. Like this fucking major fucking venue, major world venue, and I've came off the street and went. And I'm not even kidding. I remember I turned around and I said to them, I went like, "Give me a chance. I guarantee I sell it." I was like, give me a chance. And they gave me a fucking chance. And see, when it, like, I was getting phone calls and they were all rooting for me. They're like, we cannot believe what you've done. Like, we are so happy for you. And even up to that night, this is how fucking little I knew what I was doing. Up to 20 minutes before I went on that fucking stage, I'm standing with the SECC and like, you've not done your PRS shit. I went, shit, what the fuck did I do now? Like, don't worry about it. I'll sort it for you.
So they did it for you, aye.
Like, what the fuck?
PRS, that's obviously paying the songs for him.
performance.
The entire time they just walked me through it. It's like they took my hand and went like, "Come on, son."
That's amazing.
Unbelievable. And ever since then, like it's been fantastic, and we're back in again. We open arms, and then as I say, talks about other things that we could do, but. When it came to doing it like the Hydro or something like that, mate, again, first and foremost, we didn't know what it was going to be like. We didn't know what this could have been fucking mental. And then we get told, I've been told the costs of the Hydro. Have you heard that?
Big risk,
I'll
big
tell you later on.
Tell me later.
Big risk, big reward though, isn't it? 'Cause I'm
Aye,
pretty
that's
sure
exactly what it is.
if you sell out the Hydro, you're looking at hundreds of thousands.
You're
it
looking at life-changing money.
Yeah.
You're looking at proper
Yeah.
life-changing money.
Yeah.
But one thing I probably can say, right, is we did go and look at the Hydro, right? We did go and they took us in, right? But this is how good the staff are at the SECC. They're like, Stuart, my job is to sell you this place. My job is to say, take this place. So like, knowing you, like me, like you know that, don't do it now. Don't take this place now, because exactly what we're saying. This is make a break. Like, it's like you'll lose your house, you'll lose everything. If this does not work out for you, you will lose everything. He's like, but if it works out that way. So we've got a plan in place for something. Can't really tell you too much, but that's when you get the real fucking salty earth people, the fucking great people that actually work there. Because they were open and honest. Took me around the full place. About saying, see the performer in me, see the writer, the aspiration guy. I walked in that fucking door. They took me right to the stage bit, and went right, turn around. You just see the full Hydro, and I went like, I'll do this in the bar. I'll do this. And they're all like, fucking hell, man.
But that's the thing. Shy Waynes don't get any sweeties. Look, I've replaced Bevy with Red Bull and food, by the way. 18 days sober today, by the way.
Congratulations, mate.
Congratulations.
I think it's 18. I think so. Aye. Mate, it's up. I'm just totally hijacked your story at the end of my sobriety.
But it goes back to what you're saying. Listen, it's all about making your own work. It really is. It's about kicking in that door, and that's what you need to do. Thankfully, I've managed to do something that's connected with a lot of people. I mean, that's the holy grail. That really is it.
Has MD called you lucky yet?
No.
No, it stresses me out. And
No.
Oh, that was really lucky.
Probably a
that.
million fucking.
Lucky.
But it says I'd say lucky if it was one night. See if it was doing 2 nights. That's no fucking luck, mate.
No, mate. I just mean whatever. Like some people, you were really lucky with that shit. It's like
Don't get me wrong.
The harder we work,
there was
the
a lot
luckier
of
I seem to
people.
get.
There was a lot of people, including family, when I told them Armadillo, who shit themselves like that. What the fuck are you doing? Are you fucking serious? I'm like, fucking trust me. Trust me, man. Just, it's hard to explain. I've said this to a few people. It's probably the most weirdest and philosophical thing I'll ever say. But I can't get rid of it. I've said this to a few people. Mate, I've got this feeling there that doesn't go away of this just gut fucking wrenching.
That it's going to work.
It's going to fucking work, mate.
Aye.
You know what I mean? And I can never ever get it to go away. I don't want it to go
Is
away.
that what every project you do? Just certain ones?
It's more a universal. Keep fucking going.
Like
Aye.
the fire.
Aye,
The fire's burning.
aye, 100%.
Because you nearly did give up at one point, mate. I remember you posted, I don't know how long ago it was, I think you'd taken a doing. And you were
a
like,
few.
I'm done. It was after one of them anyway, and you're like, I'm done. It's causing too much grief. I'm just going to get a normal
No,
job.
the
And that
one-
was sad seeing that.
Aye.
That these bastards had caused you to feel like that, and you're such a talented guy. And I always get these mixed up. Empathised or sympathised? Because I felt it through it myself. Sympathised. I could sympathise with you, mate, because there's a few times that I have stopped. What made you get back up again?
Well, I'll tell you first and foremost, like, the giving up wasn't to do with fucking getting jumped and things like that. Like, as much as that was a fucking massive inconvenience,
Only a Scotsman would say getting battered an inconvenience.
As much as it was a bit of a fucking nuisance, the thing that massively done it, mate, was people were starting to recognise my family in the street and give
fuck.
them shite.
What?
So my mum's work was like, Stuart, your son. Aye, that fucking prick, that fucking orange bastard and all that. And my mum was like, aye, so my mum was phoning me saying, and my mum didn't, at this time, my mum was like on fucking Facebook and that. She's like, son, what the fuck are you, what is this? What are you doing? She didn't understand what I was actually doing, and like fucking, she thought it was just like me stupid videos or something. I was like, Mum, I'm doing this and X, Y, and Z. She's like, son, people are threatening you to my face. And you know what I mean? And it was getting to that, so I've like, if you've got me on social media and stuff like that, I don't share any of my personal life fully. And if there's any pictures of family members, I don't tag them in it. I don't that's how fucking mental it's actually got. And I try my hardest to fucking make sure nobody knows anything about my personal life in any single way, because that's what it got like. So that was the reason I went, I can't do this anymore, because my mum begged me to stop this. You need to stop this now. Can I do it? Plus, at that point, I wasn't making any money. There was no money coming from it at all. There was none. It was doing it to forge a career. You know what I mean? So at the time, it made no sense to fucking continue doing it. It changed into a fucking horrendous beast. It turned its fucking ugly face, man, and it became this thing that it was bringing me no fucking joy in any way. Started losing a lot of pals. Even people I grew up with, man, like my full life, don't speak to them anymore, don't see them. You know what I mean? I've got one pal. You know what I mean? I've got fucking one mate that I see now.
That's brutal, man.
That mate.
She's a Celtic fan. I'm embarrassed by that, mate.
It's not. It's both sides.
Mate.
It's both sides. Mate. See, because like being a Rangers fan, I find myself in Rangers environments a lot more, obviously. And 90% is for Rangers fans. I mean, 90% of it does come for Rangers fans. But don't get me wrong as well. Like fucking a couple of weeks ago, I was fucking out in the pub and I was coming down the road and fucking some big barrier boy, man, fucking try to square up to me, man. He's like, you're that fucking cunt. I'm like, fuck off, man. I'm in my 30s.
You're a comedian.
Aye,
You're
man.
a fucking comedian doing sketches.
There's no mate. This is what's crazy. See any other line of fucking artist work, like creative work. When do you get that?
No,
but this one thing, it's like a switch that fucking clicks off in people's head and just goes, see all sense, just goes right out the window.
I think like I was talking to somebody about this. Have you seen the boy Bems?
No.
Aye, man.
He's a rapper.
He's for my tune.
He's fair. Well, I think he's actually for London, but he went and moved to
a fucking culture switch.
I think I like 4 or 5 moved to Ayr, and then he's in Glasgow and he's a rapper, and he did like a collaboration with somebody, and they did like a version of Jot on the Wing, and they were on the pitch at Celtic
That's
Park.
fucking that's an nasty. That's huge. And I'm raging to say it's a tune.
So he was saying to me,
He's
like,
not got a tune.
I was chatting to him and he was like, what do you think about him? And he's been kind of sketchy about getting proper, like we putting his Celtic tap on. I think he wore it at Reading and Leeds, but he didn't wear it at Transmit and stuff like that. And I was saying to him, look, see if you focus on the sort of, so I was like, see if you look at the boy Craig Beattie, you know who Craig
singer?
Beattie is,
Aye.
the singer.
No, you're talking Craig Beattie's a footballer.
He played with Celtic.
He's Higgy Beattie. Fucking what's his name again?
Callum Beattie.
Callum Beattie. Aye, fucking close. CB, close, right? I was like, nobody gave a fuck about that boy being a Rangers fan until he posted that picture of him doing the look the smelly lot. I was like, so see, if long as you stay on, I'm a Celtic fan, and you know I don't care if you're a Rangers fan and blah blah blah, but just be positive and stay in. It's like, see, as soon as you start to be all the puddle drinkers, or look at them, and I was like, you're inviting a fucking beast into your life,
mate.
an absolute beast into your life.
It's
and
a
I think,
beast
like,
that you don't know,
it's a
mate.
shame for comedy, because like you're saying, you've grew up around both sides and you've seen the madness in both sides, and now you're picking fun at both sides. You're no slagging one side and you know being snide about it. And
100%.
honestly, mate, like you're saying, it comes for Rangers fans, but to hear about somebody who's a Celtic fan talking to your mom like that, like, I'm actually fucking embarrassed by that, man. It makes me feel fucking sick to hear that there's people out there that haven't got enough in their fucking life to actually realise that you're just a fucking comedian trying to, you know, make jokes at both sides of the divide. You know what I mean?
I totally agree with you, but I'll tell you something right now. You're like, this is how scary it can be, and this is the eye-opening thing, mate. The most fucking level-headed person you know in your life, the most level-headed person, can change like that. The amount of fucking people that I knew in my life, as I say, best pals, mate, best mates, haven't seen him in years.
I don't think they're level-headed.
But it sounds like people that like fucking people who are like literally high-end people, like fucking managers, business people, stuff like that. That culture does something to them. Fucking mate, I've been there myself a million times. Going, why the fuck did I just do that? I'm like the George Square thing. Why the fuck was I there?
It's the crowd mentality, though, isn't it? You get.
But it's these moments of fucking total fucking lunacy, mate. Right, and this is the mental thing about this subculture in Scotland. Like, and to go in and make fun of that. It's like fucking lion tamer shit. Know what I mean?
I'll tell you what I wouldn't like.
It's a minefield, mate.
It's
I'll tell you.
fucked up.
I'll tell you about the Queen dying with me later, right?
I'll tell you what I wouldn't like, and you see this a lot, right? Somebody who's grew up in it, taking the piss out of it, I'd be like, get to
Shut the fuck up. That's when we don't come together.
Can you imagine Celtic Rangers fans unite for anything?
No, you do
The
see
world's
it. No,
fucked,
you see
man,
it. See when you
wouldn't it?
see anybody fucking calling like the Scottish League a pub league. The
farmers.
Who you talk to, cunt?
But see, because you've grown up in it, I think you have got an actual right to rip the country.
Hugely, 100%. Listen, it's there for the fucking taking. There's something in this country that is took so fucking serious and so out of fucking context. It's unbelievable. It's not about football. It's nothing to do with fucking football.
It's got fuck all to do with
Fuck
football.
all to do with football.
Nothing to do with me.
That's just the vessel it's used to fucking explain the mental shit we do and mental things we fucking say. Every fucking July there's a fucking march. What the fuck is that? Know what I mean?
That has literally got fuck all to do with football. Like I produced a podcast with. I had a word with myself in like 2019. I produced a podcast in a nightclub and it was Barry Ferguson that did it. And I was getting into it and I was like, I fucking hate
Exactly. It's unbelievable.
I'm like, I fucking hate this weekend. But I'm thinking about, I was like that.
You picturing him in the centre circle.
Like, I don't know if, what you gone by, Jerry or Chris and this podcast?
What are you going for?
What did I say when I introduced myself?
remember.
I can't remember either.
Go with Jerry.
All right, I don't know if Jerry said, like, I'm a psychologist.
Right.
I was like, what? Why am I thinking this? And I'm like, I've got this teenage boy trapped in my fucking head.
Deep rooted.
Who sees Barry Ferguson seething through, like spitting through his teeth, or like the fucking sheer like joy in his face when he scored a goal against Celtic. And then see when I met him, mate.
Nicest guy ever.
He's the nicest guy in the fucking world. One of the nicest guys in the world. And do you know what? I was honest with him. Like, we had a break in the podcast and I was like, do you know
fucking
what,
hate you, mate.
No, I said to him, like, I came into this with that sort of like,
mentality.
when I was growing up, I hated you, mate. You were like my worst fucking enemy. And then I was just sort of like, but you know what, mate? Like, meeting you and realising that you're a human being. And there was something like clicked in my head at that time, and see now, like, I don't see football players as football players anymore. I see them as human beings. And like, fucking, you know,
It's crazy, mate.
it's mental. And to think that, I mean, I understand maybe a wee bit, you know, people go out and they get drunk and they see Neil Lennon and fucking Ashton Lane, they're like, you wee fucking bastard or whatever. Verbal, like, I can kind of like be like, have a thick skin, let it water off a duck's back. See people actually getting physical with people, squaring up to people.
That's
mate.
the terrifying thing, mate. If you don't mind me jumping in there, because
go for it,
this is what terrifies me. This terrifies me to this day. Is it takes one nutcase, one arsehole with a knife.
Aye.
And I'm gone. I'm done. You know what I mean? And the thing is, these people are faceless to me. I don't know what they look like. 9 times out of 10, they hide behind fucking fake profile pictures, shit like that. And then again, like, you go into, as you said, your follower. I stood behind them in the queue for something.
That's close to you, man.
Don't even know they're there. Don't even
And then they'll be
fucking know they're
constantly that follow. You should have fucking stuck in it, no more, blah blah blah. And I would always tend to lean into like, they'll never do it, but they've fucking done it, mate.
So I'm saying,
Like,
so that was my. I gave people too much credit. I gave it the benefit of the doubt massively. Going, it's fucking modernised. What the fuck?
I did
It's a
so
fucking
nimble.
laugh.
It's
just
ingrained
fucking
though. It is family, and we talk about that in the Billy and Tim shows. It's a family thing. But I'm going to name drop.
Listen, that's what the Johnny Bite was. The Johnny Bite was a story about family. It wasn't a story about football. It was a story about family.
I was going to say that about your family because I've got your granny. We'll get to, right.
Oh, I love it.
Aye, we'll get to that, mate. But Andy Cameron, I was working with. Fucking name drop that one. Boom. It was brilliant, right?
Famous
Rangers fans.
I tell you the joke about Andy Cameron, didn't I?
No, wait, tell me what he said. Right, so I said he came out with something really prominent, and he says it's only in Scotland that this would happen. He says, but folk could do it all the time, and you've probably done it yourself. He says somebody will come up to you and go, you met Jimmy? No, he's a Celtic fan, but he's a good guy.
He's one of the good ones. That's my full
one
life.
of the good ones.
My full
Have you ever
life.
done that? He's a Rangers fan, but he's all right.
Growing up in a Celtic fucking town, my entire life when I met new people was my pals introducing me going, he's a hunt, but he's a good one.
Aye.
I've had people say to me, and I've said this myself, and just because you've used that word there, but fuck it, I can
Oh,
use it.
mate,
I've said to people he's a Rangers fan, but he's not Hun.
aye.
You know what I mean? Like,
aye.
that kind of way. But like, I've told this story on a couple of podcasts. I might have even told it on here, so if I'm repeating myself, I apologise to people that are listening. But my dad grew up on Duke Street. He grew up in the tenement that's now away. It was above the original Coyers Cafe, which would be like 2 doors down for the Loudon on the corner of Milliston Street and Duke Street. That's where he was born and raised, right? And he drank in the Bristol. He knew the guy Harry. Now, my dad was in Lisbon in '67. Multiple like run-ins with the Orange Walks and stuff like that. He was a Celtic casual. They used to go and fight. Like, they used to steal shit off of like the Rangers supporters buses or break into the Orange lodges and steal their fucking big photos of the Queen and fucking smash them up and leave them on their doorstep. So I suppose you could be like, he was a bit of a bigot in one sense, but by the time I came along, thank fuck, he was like, you're not a bigot. You can be a football fan, but you're not a bigot, and explained the whole culture to me and like, don't get involved in it. I did when I was younger. It was stupid, right? But he drank in the Bristol because he knew the guy Harry and all his mates would be going to Ibrox, and it was just a pub, right? So he didn't give a fuck. He's like, I don't care. Like, there's people in there that hate Catholics. I'm a Catholic, blah blah blah, but I don't hate them, right? See, when my dad was like, my dad died when he was like 55. See, my dad was like 50. He was in the Bristol having a pint, and he would go in there maybe on like a Friday evening or a Saturday afternoon, and a guy, so he's sitting with a guy that he'd been sitting with for 25 years, and a guy walked in and went, what you fucking doing in here, you big fiending bastard? And the guy looked at my dad and went, are you a Catholic? And he went, aye. Downed his pint, walked out. My dad never seen the guy
25
ever
year?
again, mate. 25-year friendship.
That's what happens.
And the guy found out that he was a Catholic and just went, fuck you, never spoke to him ever again.
That's mental.
I think that's crazy, man. I think people that are in that are brainwashed.
I've been in the opposite end of that.
It's the same God. I've never understood it.
It's what?
It's the same God that they're on, and Jesus that they in this religion that they.
Listen, it's got that fucking muddled in that fucking that thing. Half of them don't even know what the fuck they're
Singing
referring to
about
anymore.
or believe in.
Aye.
Or,
But
you know.
but that's happened to me a good few times, and it's one of the most sobering fucking feelings you'll ever get in your life. Like, I remember being at a party, yeah, didn't know the boys, and they didn't know I was a Rangers fan. Never got brought up. You know what I mean? Talking away, fucking brilliant. Honestly, full night, fucking swallowing away, fucking some laugh, great laddies. Somebody mentioned that I was a Rangers fan, and they never spoke to me the rest of the night. It was like completely. I'd walk back up like, all right, mate. Like, right, mate, Mr. Hammond.
That's
I
crazy.
just don't get it, man. I don't
mental.
get it. I genuinely think people are brainwashed, mate.
It's
You know?
and I'm trying to make a career of that. How fuck's that?
mate,
Do you know what I mean?
right.
How fuck's that?
Well,
You know what I
I
mean?
think things like I'm no a Billy, I'm a Tim, and even like things like the journey home and rally round the Rangers and stuff
That's
like.
2 titles that just get rang in a row there. Did you see that?
Do you know how many people
Oh,
call it the
shit,
journey home, by
sorry.
the way? Do you know how many people that call it the journey home?
See, every time you talk about Billy and Tim, you call it something different.
Oh, I
every
know, mate,
time.
I can never get it.
What is the title?
Singing I'm not a Billy, he's a Tim.
Well,
But
listen,
it's coming out this year. Singing I'm not a Billy, she's a Tim. And then we've got something when we talk about. When we talk about our project,
We can,
a wee bit, a wee bit.
No, we can't. No,
But
actually,
what-
no,
we'll
because
get
because do you know what, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier on. See that element of they're a fucking visual representation.
Oh no,
of
we'll
it.
tell us about. But we can say we're going to work
Well,
together.
we're working
soon.
together.
We're working together.
What I was going to say is that these types of things surely go towards breaking down the barriers for people. It becomes something a bit different for. And I witnessed this, like your granda sitting spewing shite about fucking dirty Catholic bastards and blah, these fucking cunts. Look, they're all fucking beasting. That is literally what people hear growing up,
Aye.
you know, and like. I think they just get indoctrinated into this fucking bullshit cult. It is a fucking cult.
Aye.
And I think if you marry, like, it's about football, it's about family, it's not about bigotry, it's got nothing to do with religion, and you bring it to a stage and kids get to see that and they're like, oh, wait a minute, this can be something more positive. I think that breaks down the barriers, separating it for the religious bigotry that exists, you know what I mean?
It breaks it down as much as it can, but it will never, ever, ever go away. Ever,
Never.
ever go away. There's always going to be that sect of fucking people who that's your life, that's your dad's life, your mom's life, everything right down the middle. But hilarious thing, this is hilarious, and this is something we're actually working on for a show, is majority of those fucking hard fucking staunch or fucking hard fucking Catholic fucking people are married into mixed families. You know what I mean? So their fucking full lives fucking dirty fiend bastard, dirty honest bastard. Their wife's a Catholic or their wife's a Protestant, you know what I mean? And they live in that. That's a majority, you know what I mean? So it just shows you how serious is it? How serious are you into this fucking mindset of like, fuck these people, but I'll marry.
I but know you.
Aye, but no you. You're alright.
I know you. I love you, but it's your dad. It's your brother. He's a prick.
I've heard people say that to me. Where
Mate.
They'll pure rip into cat. You'll be like, I'm a calf. I was raised a calf. Oh, but no you, mate.
No, but you're alright. I mean, you're alright. I mean, you get it, mate.
They don't believe it, man. They don't believe it. It's just that. I think it's just tribalism, isn't it? It's just that way to feel part of something.
It's become like almost punctuation with the word you use. I don't mind getting called a Fenian, right? To me, it's never an offensive word anyway, but anything can become derogatory. And I think there's a cracking line in Billy and Tim, right? And there's a lot of folk go like, oh, quit. I'll come just having a laugh, but it can be quite damaging, some things that people say, and it can cause anger, conflict. But there's a line in Billy and Tim, right? And a lot of people go, oh, but it's an important line. And at one point I have to say, so Billy's getting it. I'm playing Tim, I play the Celtic fan, and Billy's getting it the whole, oh yeah, I'm looking this and that, and he's really getting to him, he can get it to him, and he takes the huff. And Billy goes, oh, for fuck's sake, Tim, come on. I'm just a 90-minute bigot. And Tim goes, I ain't bothering, mate. And I'm just a 10-minute rapist.
Oh,
right? That's a fucking
stab.
And the place just goes silent. And then they laugh, and then it's silent, and again it's like, I don't know how to take that line, but it's so prominent. I mean, I know it's over exaggerated. I'm not saying that getting called a Fenian is anywhere near as bad as someone being raped, but it did point out like it still leaves a lasting bit of damage.
The lunacy and that idea that you can switch that on and off. I only hate people when I'm in a football stadium, and then when I leave, I'm full of love, and it's like, nah, mate, nope.
I'll tell you straight up. I mean, mate, I'm a massive fucking Rangers fan, right? But I'm a massive Rangers fan for the football and the way I like the tradition I get brought up with was, that's my fucking team. Simple as fucking that. Don't fucking hate you. Don't hate you in any way, shape or form. But see, when it comes to the firm game, I'll give you a wee bit of jip.
Aye.
Best thing ever. It's hilarious. It's brilliant. But it's no fuck. It's no. Like, I've been in places. I like actually very true story. Very very true story. This was the start of the fucking downfall of anything. I used to go to friends' house to watch Elfirm games together. I didn't have a lot of Rangers fan pals, or sometimes I wouldn't go to the games. So I'd sit with my pals and watch Elfirm games, a bit of a mixed crowd. It got to a point where I was doing these sketches and stuff like that, where like, we don't want you to come today. I went, what do you mean? Like, you're not getting in here today. Like, why not? Like, because we don't want you here for that. And that was the first day I went to a pub. I went to a pub myself.
What?
Went to a pub myself to watch the Celtic game. And ever since then, I like made new friends and stuff like that, like with them, and realised I can go there. But that's what I'm saying to you. That's what it can get to. That's what it made. I don't want you to be here. Don't want you in here for that.
Wow. Some Celtic fans don't accept me. Have I told you this story about me?
Oh, mate, there's a million Rangers fans that fucking will never ever in a fucking month of Sundays fucking look at me and go,
I get called a soup taker once. So all my family are Rangers fans. Most of them anyway. My dad's an Ayr United fan. But
so without a bus pass then?
That's the Kelly fans to say that about Rangers fans without the bus pass. Right?
No, we say that about Hearts
so
fans.
They're all Rangers fans, and I remember like watching, like, see when you were in Europe with Hateley and McCoist against Marseille and all that, and they would watch that, but I would watch off it, but I'd go to United, so they were all, but then I was like, nah, I'm Celtic, but all my family Rangers and that, so because I come from a Rangers family background, apparently I should be a fucking Rangers fan, and some Celtic fans even say that. Do you know what I mean? But I'm like, nah.
Spectrum.
So I'm fucking.
Tell me another subculture in this country, or actually anywhere in the world that is taken like that. Like, you should be this.
Aye.
And if you're not, fuck you. By the way, there's something you're on for the watching.
Aye. If anything, I should be an Ayr United fan.
You know what I mean?
Because that's where I'm fae. I've always said I'm an Ayr United, a bit of an Ayr United fan, but a Celtic supporter, because I support Celtic by buying all their strips and their merchandise and stuff like that, and putting money into the club. But I'm a wee bit of a fan of Ayr because I look for the scores because I'm a dad and stuff like that. And
Ayr used to be a good team, I'm sure.
Hey, they might come up. We still get the playoff. Kelly could go down and Ayr could go up. That would be great. That's a wee Ayrshire rivalry.
But I'll tell you something in my entire life, as much as I enjoyed football and I loved football, stuff like that, it was never the main prominent thing in my life, ever. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it. It's only been the past 5 or 6 years I actually having to do this. Like, it's been a major fucking... Honestly, there's times I feel as if it's like fucking Green Street. Or like, you ever seen ID? The film ID?
I've heard it,
It's
but
a fucking good film. It's an undercover cop that goes into the casuals and ends up getting turned and becomes a fucking... I mean, there's been times in the past 5 or 6 years where I've been feeling myself getting dragged into it and I'm going, what's going on here? Fucking pull it back.
I get that, mate. But that'll be the same with the players that would always think the Sash or whatever in Celtic. Like, they got ingrained into it, and like the Terry Butchers and that.
This comes back to what you were talking about earlier, you know, like, what does it actually mean anymore? You know, I remember, like, you were saying earlier, like, I don't mind people saying fiending or whatever. And I sit on the fence with it, because see if I've got like a Rangers supporting mate, I would happily let them call me a fiending bastard. I don't care about it. But see if it's somebody I don't know.
Stranger.
I know, that's the difference. That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, wait a minute, like, who are you talking to? Do you know what I mean?
100%.
I remember going to, like, my best mate was a Rangers fan, and it was, you know, when I was really wee. So you're talking, like, I think he moved away maybe when I was like 9. So I was younger than 9, and Rangers were winning everything. Like, I'm 40, so it was like 9. So I was 10 in 93.
We had to watch there.
90, 91, somewhere around about there. This is how much not a bigot my dad was. You know, like, I was like, I want to go and see Rangers, and my dad was like, right, okay. And he took me and he was like, we're not wearing colours, there's no scarves or whatever. He's like, but we'll go to Ibrox. If that's what you want to do and you want to go and experience it, we'll go to Ibrox. We went to a Rangers Aberdeen game, and we were in, I think, what would be like the club deck. It's like
The very, very top.
the top of the
main
stand where the tunnel is.
In the main stand.
And we came out, and you see the videos of like Wayne's coming out. I was like, holy shit, look at this place, man, this is amazing. And we left at half time, and the reason that we left at half time was because they were singing Billy Boys, and I had been told, like, your granda came here from Ireland, and there was basically like,
and that was it.
nae blacks, nae dogs, nae Irish, and when they were like basically talking about killing Catholics, I was just like to my dad, like, but we're Catholics, and he was like, shut the fuck up. Like, first of all,
not basically talking about killing.
blessing yourself, son.
Literally fucking say about killing Catholics.
Shut the fuck up. But then I remember being like, even at that age, being like, I don't like this.
Right.
Can we go? My dad was like, aye. And then I was like, can we go to Celtic Park one time? My dad, later on in life, my dad was like, I can remember thinking to myself, thank fuck for that. But it was literally like that. I was like, that's me that they're talking about. And I'm like, fucking 7 and 8 year old.
Totally agree, mate.
Heavy fucking kudos to your dad, by the way, because even, well, I think I was similar. Like, my boy, I always gave him the option. He could either support Celtic or rugby. It was totally up to him. Do you know what I mean?
Or the tennis, I mean.
I was very open with him. He support anyway. He's not even into football. That was one of the hard. Right, so if I tell you the story about him, right? So he obviously knew I fucking love football, and I didn't ever pressure him. Right, I didn't. But he knew I loved it, and he knew I was always like, you want to go for a kick about this and that? You want to watch the football? All right, in fact, I took him to an Ayr United game because I was one of the pundits, believe it or not. Sometimes they invite me down. It's not to do any football chat, it's just to take the piss. I take the piss out of the other commentator.
That'd be great.
So I took him to that, and he was like, bored, I could tell, but he sat through it. And it was a couple of years later, and it wasn't too long ago, and he's like, Dad, I need to tell you something. And I'm like, oh,
Here he's coming.
what's this chat? What's going to happen? Is my son going to tell me that he's...
Aye.
I don't want to say it because he'll go off his nut. Like, I never thought he was gay, but I thought, oh, he's going to come out and say he's gay, or is he going to say this is something really serious? And he just went, Dad, I don't like football. And I was like, that's worse. So but no, he's a good kid. We were actually just at a youth theatre show there at the Gate, and he was in it, and he was just brilliant, stole the show. But what I wanted to say about you, mate, I think a lot of people pigeonhole you with the football stuff, but see some of my favourite sketches with you, they've not been about football. The Yankee Candle sketch you did. I did this Yankee Candle, the Scottish Yankee Candles, the smell of piss stained carpets,
it was
beer,
for COVID and stuff like that.
And a lot of your sketches, mate, and I think you did one, it was like, it was almost as if back in the day, how would you send almost like a dick pic or a sex text? But
Aye,
it was all written.
it was Shakespearean. I didn't write that one. I didn't write that one.
Did you know?
No, I was just in that one.
Fuck it. That was like a
No, there was that's the one that, like, I totally understand what you're saying when it came to doing the football stuff. Listen, it was one of the things, you know yourself, as a creative person, you're looking for that fucking holy grail, the one that fucking hits.
Aye.
Fucking what hits. And I found a niche in that, and it was a niche that I had interest in, and that's where I've went towards. I mean, but obviously before that we were just doing normal sketches. I mean, still to this day, I still think one of the best things I ever actually wrote as a writer was I done this sketch. It was called Your Dad Tries VR Porn. Right? I still love it, man. We done it perfect. We done it absolutely superb. It's like something you'd see like 2 doors down or something like that, right? It would be an ideal fucking scenario in that. Your dad gets a wee couple of to himself, tries VR porn, right? His back goes and he's stuck. So he's stuck in the bed with a VR fucking headset, fucking still going fucking trousers at the fucking ankles, and everybody walks in on him. But because he's got the headphones in and everything, he can't see. He's like, who the fuck's that? And he's still fucking going. You know what I mean? And I really enjoyed that one. So that, when it comes to doing things like that, we're trying to do something now where we're intertwining the two things. I can't really say too much to be honest with you, but we're trying to work something out now, something major. It's a show all about, it's like if Modern Family met Derry Girls.
Ah,
You know what I
right,
mean?
okay.
Kind of thing, like fucking a family in Scotland trying to kind of raise a modern family, but their family's still kind of really traditional, like fucking Scottish traditional kind of way, like a Protestant Catholic kind of thing, and they're just getting pulled in a million different directions, and just try to really get to the root of that, but obviously take the fucking piss out and have a good laugh. But it's all about,
It's quite prominent now as well.
That's 100%. But it goes back to my full philosophy starting the entire football thing was there's no fucking need for any of this fucking shit.
Aye.
It's hilarious and it's funny. Use it for what it is. Use it for fucking slagging and having a wee bit of laugh and a joke with your pals and stuff like that. I mean, Rangers and Celtic, 2 biggest teams in the world, greatest fucking football game that ever existed. But the culture that comes with that. And as I say, Steve earlier on, like majority of fucking people in Scotland are married into mixed families, but it's still prominent of, you big dirty fiend, you big man, you know what I mean? And it's just kind of bringing that out. So we're trying to do something like that. It takes me back to my roots of making, just writing normal physical comedy, but also bringing the comedy that I've got experience in now, doing the football stuff and the religious stuff now, and bringing it all into one big fucking gumbo pot.
Right what you know.
Right, but listen, and it was Ricky Gervais that I heard that for, and that's what set me on that path as well. Right, but you know, and never a fucking 12-word spotting. Right, but you know, and that's why again going into the football stuff, finding that niche, but luckily it was what I knew.
Aye.
You know what I mean? And it worked, and that's it.
Well,
We've got 15 to go, mate.
good, right, let's get away for the football chat now, right? Because we want to obviously have a good chat to use the person now as well. You've got, so journey back, you've got a few things in the pipeline that I'm sure you'll all hear about soon. You're on Facebook, Twitter.
No, I'm not on Twitter anymore. Twitter, mate. Twitter's the worst place in the mate, 11,000 followers I had, and I gave it up. You know what I mean?
Did you?
11 fucking K, right? And I gave up because, mate, you couldn't say a fucking word on that. And that's where 90% of the shit I was getting was coming through. That was coming, and that was that's where the physical stuff was coming through as well. Like people saying, "I know where you live, I know where you stay, I know where you drink."
Fuck.
What the fuck? And then there was a time, it was round about that time, I was kind of new to it, so I was responding, who the fuck are you?
Oh, you
who
did
the fuck
that?
are you?
We actually
It's
the worst thing you can do.
Exactly, and it just, listen, and I mean, as I said, when I went to George Square as well, stupidly to put the picture on Twitter, I woke up the next morning with the worst hangover and fucking come down about having my fucking life.
The fear must have been ripping
BBC News. BBC News.
I saw it, mate.
9 o'clock in the morning, Stuart, could you just come on and explain your actions? I'm still, mate.
Oh, they phoned you?
At that time, I'm a milkman. I'm a fucking milkman. And I was getting fucking like, totally fucking paraded about as if like, look at this cunt. Look what he's done. And
I'm surprised, mate. The only thing missing was burning effigies. I remember that.
Aye.
I remember that. I was going to message you actually, but I thought, no, your inbox will be going.
That was a hard one to get back for. Aye, that was a fucking tough one. But
the thing is, you're here, and do you know what makes you different? You're not here going, oh, so what? you're actually going, I fucked that, I shouldn't have done that.
Listen, you're a human at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You're an emotional person. Like fucking things come and go. Like it is what it is. It's not going to be my fucking last fuck up. You know what I mean, there'll be a cracker coming down the road soon enough. You know what I mean?
Mate, that's working class life, isn't it? That's that.
I can always go back to being a postie.
But what I'll say, Tam Cowan, I don't know if I've said this in my podcast before, when I was on that offside with Tam Cowan, he described it perfectly. He says the difference between Twitter and Facebook or Instagram. He says if he's going on holiday, he'll put in Facebook, I'm going on holiday, everyone will have a great time. On Twitter, they'll go, hope your fucking plane crashes.
100%.
That's it.
100%.
But
I'm 100%.
So anyway, have I told you I got a new fridge magnet? I've got 12 fridges
You
already.
collecting fridge?
Hey,
You fridge hopping?
I want to do a political one. What's the difference? No, wait. What is
fuck,
it?
here
What
we
is
go.
it?
You're going to need to check the book.
You're shite.
Oh, I need to check my book. What's a Tory and the Eiffel Tower got in common? They're both parasites.
Fucking hell, man.
Hey!
Fucking hell.
Was that the tumbleweed gun there? Good. So, Paul, what you been up to, mate?
Fucking busy, mate.
Podcasting?
Aye, mate. This will be like podcast number 25 of the week or something, man.
Fucking
so
hell, mate.
just busy, man.
That's a good thing, Matt. That's a great
Oh,
thing.
no
25?
complaining. Never.
You must hear some amount of pish.
Oh, he must be knitting.
I mean, my podcast number 25, but where would you put us in your
Number
top?
one, mate.
There we go.
No, well, wait
There
a
we
minute,
go.
just in case Darren
Darren,
Connell watches us.
No, I've got issues with Darren now. He said he had the best eyebrows in showbiz, and I'm fucking going to fight him on that one.
Darren Connell.
Aye, I love him, man.
I've never met him.
You not met Dan?
I've never met him. Spoke to him. I've spoke to him over fucking social a couple of times, but
He's a beautiful human being.
Aye.
He really is. Kind of miss him on Scott Squad, man. That's what got me into it, was Bobby. In fact, I'm not talking about him. He's got his own
That's
podcast.
all
to
done.
talk about.
But I, mate, I hear every single facet of pish that you could ever hear in this studio. You know,
this is what I was saying to
Do you
you.
ever have to hold your tongue to like, because you're no
all
on
the
there
time
to go,
because
that's a load of shit you're talking.
when I first started, I didn't. And I was like, every time somebody left, I was like, it's not my job to correct people, you know. I mean, if they're talking shite about whatever, like that, that's.
But this is what you were saying to me earlier on about. Is like fucking. You were saying like you should get any podcast. Mate, everybody in their fucking maw's got a podcast, and you sitting there now, you 25th of the fucking week, man. You must be sitting going, how much more shite can people be sitting talking, man?
Aye.
Don't get me wrong, I understand sitting down having a good crack and stuff like that, it's class, but see the amount of podcasts I'll sit and listen, it's just, aye mate, so I was at the shops tonight and price a bar.
Or even worse, it's like, you know, the whole market for the entrepreneurial stuff
Aye.
is like working class people who don't have a path to any sort of lifestyle, so they're having to be forced into this sort of like, you know, like
Some
make your own
fucking
business,
aye.
you know, be an entrepreneur, and it's fucking absolute ball bags like that Stephen Bartlett that are like, yes, all you need to do is get up at 5 a.m. It's like, you're a fucking Tory cunt with a millionaire parent.
Fuck
like,
off.
get to fuck. Like, you're trying to sell fucking
Pyramid scheme
Stardust
shit. Aye.
to
Aye,
fucking
aye.
people that have got no fucking money
Aye.
and get up and need to feed their fucking wains, and you're like, yes, you're just lazy and you just need to get on with it. And it's like,
yourself to
gonna
fuck.
get to fuck with this shit,
Big man, I've never been up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I sit with the armadillo. There you go.
Yeah, have you got the boys today a coronation video?
No, I've got a cracker for you. A huge one.
Oh, you putting it out?
I've got a belter and I was going to ask you to do it, but I need to get a van. I know, I've got the most perfection fucking punchline for it.
Oh, have you?
Great.
Right, tell me
Perfect.
after then. Tell me after. But we'll not go down that route on here the new so much, because that will split both our audience definitely. Well, maybe no actually, because if I tell you about the Queen dying when I was down singing I'm Not a Billy, He's a Tim.
She died?
Oh no, sorry. Spoiler alert.
No, you did, because I texted you. I was talking to you that day.
Oh, so you were?
Because you were going
Mate,
on
I was
stage. I was like,
broke.
mate, fucking good luck.
I was. Oh, I remember you said.
I just said, good luck, mate.
Do you know what? Because everyone was like, "Are you okay? You okay?" And you're like, fucking what you gonna do?"
Do you
That's
know about the
right.
podcast?
I've told you on this before, but that was generally, it'll be in the documentary, because there's a documentary getting made about singing I'm Not a Billy, He's a Tim in the 20-year history.
Should
right?
always do documentaries and things. You should always document what the fuck
you've
you're
done
doing.
that as well, and I
Should
like it.
always do it, mate.
But it was a fucking, I was still on I'd split up at that point with the person that I loved for a wee bit, and I was broken, right? That's bad enough going through a breakup. And I was hitting the drink quite bad, so I was drinking at night and getting up hungover, and still, you know what it's like, you've said, physically you can't function with a hangover, but I was trying to do it and film this fucking documentary.
all
Some of
that.
the videos I've got, mate, I've actually went through them on my phone, they're quite dark,
Aye.
but they're going in. So where was I going with that?
Talk about the Queen dying.
The Queen died, right? So I got up to it was at the pavilion, and we got there, right? And I'd forgotten pins for my set. right, which is to hold all your fucking set together so nobody dies. And I got there and I had no pins or stage braces. That was your pins, and I went, oh my God, man. Now we're running to a deadline here to get the set up, to get the cast on, to get the show teched just before everyone comes in at 7:30. And I was in bits. And we got into the theatre and quite rightly like, where's your fucking, can you put this show? And I'm like, right, so I'm phoning around all these other theatres. If you got pins, nah, you get braces, I were using them. So I was like, fuck, camping shop. And I went to a camping shop and I've got tent pegs. And they slot it right in perfectly. And I was like, they worked actually better than the pins because we actually had a handle to pull them off. Anyway, done that and then finally got stage braces. And then something else happened. It was just constant, mate. Things going wrong. You'll know it yourself, mate. The armadillo and things just go, oh, didn't think of that. Oh, fuck. Because my brain was fried at the time. But we got the dress rehearsal done. And I remember Ian Gordon, he was at the boss at the pavilion at the time. I just turned and he went, right, we're good to go. And I was like, whew, thank fuck. Because I had all my money in that show. Everything. I was literally, cast members were giving me fags and stuff. That's how close it was. And I was like, next week I'll get paid for the pavilion. Never, and I'll be all right again. So I remember I turned to the stage manager, Steph, at the time, and I went, Steph, can I just be Tim now? And she's like, I go. I had no time to prepare the actual part. We'd been rehearsing, but I'm directing it, doing all this. So you'd have felt that yourself, being in the show, it's tough. So we did that, and I literally sat up, went in the pavilion dressing room, sat down, went, oh, fuck. And nearly greeting with happiness, and then I picked the phone up, and my mate went, Queen's deed. And I was like, you kidding me? Now half my audience is Celtic fans, half of them are Rangers fans, half of them love the Queen, half of them hate the Queen. And we're like, if I call this show off, we've lost the Celtic fans, which could be forever. To go, oh, they've stopped their show because of the Queen thing. If we kept it going, we could have lost half the Rangers fans.
100%, mate. Because that's what was happening at that time. Everything was getting every fucking thing was getting pulled.
Because I was like, oh, they've cancelled that.
A lot of shite Kevin Bridges got, hasn't he?
Well, I think he took the heat off us because of what he said. We thought, we're like, right, these guys must be all right. But Ian Gordon, God bless him here, because, and he had every right, it's in your contract. If the monarch dies, we pull the show. And it's in the contract. And he says, look, we want to do here. I says, Ian, and I don't know if it was because I was quite emotional, and I felt a tear going out, and if we pull it, I lose everything. Everything. Now, Ian's not known for being compassionate, and I'm not saying that he's a bad guy then, but it was his job, and he could have been like, no, it's done. But he actually went, right, do it tonight, see what the feedback's like, and we'll see how it goes tomorrow. And I'm like, we're going to do this tonight, and he's going to pull it. But I went, at least I've got one audience in that'll cover some, it'll pay my cast. So it was I was like, right, how do we say anything about it in the show? What I was going to do, so I came in we did the show, and then Ian didn't get in touch, and I was like, oh, they're going to pull it. But then the pavilion went, we're going to go, they posted, we're going to go in with this as usual. That's how I found out. I was like, right, cool. And I went up, and my idea was I was going to get my character Tim at the end, was just going to come on and go, look, mate, it's no my kind of thing, but I know how much it means to you. I was going to put a black armband on him. And that was it, right? And Ian went, no. He says, at the end, he's got over your conflict. He says, I think that's enough, the show. So
I don't know. I went with my gut there.
I would have.
It would have been a one-half, because it would have never happened again.
Never happened
you know
again.
What I mean? Would have been a one-half.
See, when Rickson died, mate, they didn't know I was going to do it, but Fernando Rickson died one of the days of the show. And I went on stage, and there was a bottle of bucket at the end, and I just went like that. And I took it off the guy playing Billy at the time. I think it was Gary. Morrison. And he was like, then I just went to Fernando. And the whole place fucking warm. Celtic fans and Rangers fans, mate. Because see, when it does come really down to it and there's a death,
100%.
I think the respect just... there's huge respect with that. See, when Jinky died, huge. When Walter Smith, maybe there was a couple of bangers.
I'll tell you the bad ones.
Horrible bangers.
Go and look at the bad ones with Jimmy Bell. One of the bad ones we made, fucking Rangers put on the other day. The one year on about, fuck it, mate. I spent a good half an hour just reading and going, whoa.
Well, they're brutal with the Jimmy Bell ones. I'll give you that. But I say this every show. Where was I going with that again?
So you done with the Rickson?
Aye, with the Rickson.
Queen died.
The Queen died. So
again,
but we just left it at that. So the first night when she died, it was like there was an atmosphere.
Somber.
But then those 4 shows I'm going, it takes one person. And I was like, please, Celtic fans, please, lads, come on. Just don't shout in. And nothing was said. But in the very last show on the Saturday night, 10 minutes before the end, we've heard something kick off. And I'm like, but in my head, I'm going, fuck it, there's only 10 minutes left, man.
Speed this up.
But what had happened was, it was 2 guys and they'd been going a bit back and forth, and apparently one of them would just went, fuck up, you Fenian bastard, and the one went, no bother mate, how's your queen? And then, but apparently a lot of the Celtic fans went, oi, fucking stop that you, and the Rangers fans pulled a hold of the Rangers fan, well, like, just leave it. And I thought that was beautiful, man. Like, everyone knows I'm anti-monarch and that, but also I respect the people that I'm friends with that maybe aren't they? Well, I say respect. It's not like, I respect their decision, I just don't want to talk about it with them. You know what I mean? But that was fucking brutal. So when it comes to this show, the minefield that we've got to deal with, that other shows never need to deal with. But also on the same hand, might be a minefield, but I've said it before and I'll say it again, but football shows and working class shows are saving Scottish theatre now, and there's no doubt about it.
You said that, and
no doubt about it.
Listen, it hurt a chord with me massively. I know we're running out of time and stuff like that, apologies, but I can't, being the new kid on the fucking block, like I can't not have the utmost respect for the people who have done this fucking shit for a long time.
Des Dillon paved the way for a lot of people.
100%. Listen, I owe Des this as well, because if it wasn't for Des, I wouldn't be doing this as well. So thank you very much, Des.
People try to get him on the podcast and all, but he just hates being around people. So.
But going back to what I was saying, is like the people who I know, I mean, your Andrew Agnews and stuff like that.
I give you shout outs to anyone you want to know.
Oh, them all. Listen, I can't say any more for the cast for my show. I mean, Andrew, Gaz, Gary Folds, you know what I mean, Lisa, Valisa, Wee Willie fucking Brennan, man, you know what I mean?
Wee Willie, he played Harry the Garden, singing I'm No Billy's a Tin.
Aye, honestly.
Wee Jack.
Listen, that's what I was going to say, son, earlier on, because very quickly, when you turn around to me saying like, oh, you know the stress of putting the show on, big man, I'll tell you something right now. I don't know what happened, right? Don't know what happened. I was so fucking new to all of this that when I got Wee Jack, so Wee Jack's the stage manager, when I gave him the job, I literally turned around and went like that, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you do everything for me? And he went, no bother. And he fucking done it, man. Literally done it. See those 2 days in that fucking Armadillo. Mate, I felt not one moment of stress. It was unbelievable.
I wish I'd approached, sorry for cutting in, I wish I'd approached it the way you did. I approached this career pretending I knew what I was doing in case I got fun out.
Upfront, honest.
You were upfront and honest, and folk helped you.
That's what you need.
It was the opposite for me, because folk went, oh well, if he knows what he's doing, and it put so much pressure on us. And I admire that about you, mate.
Well, there's only so many things you can bullshit your way into. I mean, there's only so many. Like, see, when it comes to doing the comedy stuff and doing the sketches and stuff like that, and you're like, I've done all this before. When it came to something like fucking doing the show, that's the real fucking deal, mate. There's no fucking about there. And I was like, you need to put your hands up and go, I went, I've got a product. Somebody put this on for me. Somebody help me put this fucking thing on and get this fucking thing sorted. And I picked the right fucking people. But listen, my heart goes out to wee Jack. If it wasn't for him, that thing would have fucking fell apart. And give shout out to Vito, who director, Celtic fan, directing.
That's right.
That's right. So he is. And he, like, see, we were talking earlier on about fucking, you need to have a level head and stuff like that. Going to listen, it's work and stuff like that. There was times he was struggling. He was fucking struggling, going like, fuck am I doing?
It's tough.
Fucking
it's tough. But we've got to do it for our arts.
And then obviously all the crew as well. I mean, your Josh and Josh who done the sound and look who done it and the visuals and stuff like that. They were absolutely fantastic. But the cast as well. And we've got new cast members coming. We've got Liam Dolan and all that coming in, and
good.
Kerry Hamilton.
Get Callum
McDonald. Sandra McNeely and Dougie Sani.
You get Sandra McNeely coming in.
Sandra McNeely's coming.
Sandra's brilliant.
And then obviously the new cast member who's wee Callum. So we're massively looking forward to
he was in one of my shows last night, mate.
Aye.
Absolute dynamite, mate. Absolute dynamite.
Well, listen, if things work out, he's got a big fucking year next year.
Good. And I hope it does. For you and for all your cast, mate, and also for me and you, we're going to do some damage together. We're going to come out. So for any Celtic fans watching this, Stuart's a great guy. For any Rangers fans watching this, I'm an even nicer guy, right? So Lee's a lane. And Paul's better than us. Oh. What we got with that is done now, Paul. Right,
I'm just going
to finish. Stuart, honestly, mate, it's been a joy.
It's been a pleasure. Cheers for having me on. I've really enjoyed it.
Right, where was that joke I was going to tell? I was going to tell you a time travelling joke, but you didn't like it.
What?
What
do you mean?
I was going to tell you a time travelling joke, but you didn't like it.
I don't get it.
I travelled back in time and tell you.
Fuck off! He's didn't like
He writes jokes better than
I'm supposed to be a fucking comedy writer and I haven't got a fucking clue what I'm doing.
That was no, I need to finish on this one because I didn't. Right, we will finish on this, right? You know, you said you met David Hasselhoff.
I did.
I met him as well, right? Wasn't he as good as your story? And I was like, I was pure sucking up, and I was like, oh, it's really nice to meet you, Mr. Hasselhoff. And he went, please, the Hoff, and I went, no hassle.
Oh, there you
Did you
go.
actually?
No, on that note.
He's like,
On that note, I've been Jerry Taylor, this has been producer Paul, and this has been the talented Stuart. Hey, we'll be back for another episode of Podcast WC.